This week, John and Brian find out that jacks are wild. Roofs can be raised and removed. Pans provide performance and protection, and cleaner studs are safer studs. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, we're really spoiled here in the shop because of the fact that we have all the space, we have high ceilings, the ability to move vehicles around, and really the ability to lift vehicles up in multiple different ways. Well, for a lot of you at home, you don't have that option. Maybe your ceilings in your garage are low, or maybe you have a tight confine to work in. Well, John, the folks from Danmar have been developing solutions for homeowners and other folks with space constraints for years, and their newest one is the Max Tilt, and it's awesome.
Yeah, you know, not only is this a vehicle lift we're actually going to lift this Equinox up with, it actually tilts, man. This is too cool. You get it up in the air, we can tilt it back and forth. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But this thing is so light, hangs up on your garage wall. They supply these hooks right here. I mean, you can move it, literally put it in the back of a pickup truck.
It's a self-contained system, meaning that you don't have to plug it into the wall. You don't have to worry about running any sort of electricity to it. You have these two gearboxes here. We'll show you how they work in a minute. But other great features are the fact that it sits only 4.5 inches off the ground. So it's going to roll nicely underneath any vehicle that you have. And you're going to get it 23.5 inches of lift straight up. But then with the tilting action, you're going to be able to get upwards of 30 because you move one end up, one the other. You're going to do a brake job, start with the back, tilt it up, then you tilt to the front. Bam, you're in business.
Hey, you think about that. I mean, the money you pay alone just to rotate tires. I can get up in the garage, I can rotate tires, do a vehicle inspection, no matter what I want to do. Heck, even if I want to wax it. I mean, I'm 6'2". I get it up in the air, makes it that much easier.
Everybody's got one of these in their shop. It's a cordless drill, and this is exactly the kind of tool you want to use. Now, Danmar does supply a hand crank, but this is the quick way. The quick demonstration here. Drill goes in the receiver.
Yep, run it up and run it down as it's going up. It's that easy. They even give you these pieces right here you can put in there in case you need a spacer. You may be hitting some running boards on the side. You know, check your lift points. Look at your owner's manual in the glove box and you'll be able to tell if you need them or not. Just keep an eye on it when you're lifting it.
And a jack stand provided as well, so you have full safety.
You go peek on that side, make sure you're under there. Like I said, just go in your owner's manual. There's some lift points. Use common sense. I mean, you have a front-wheel drive vehicle, you have some weight distribution. You may want to move it back a little bit. If it's a rear-wheel drive car, put it in the middle. Just give it a couple of test runs. You'll get it up there and you'll be able to tilt it with ease. It's actually super easy to use. I really like these tracks as well. Now, these tracks right here, if you have an uneven surface, you can put them on. We're just going to put them on our floor to make sure everything rolls really nice. You don't need them if you have a nice concrete or even floor. You're not going to need those at all.
Yeah, this can be used in multiple different environments, and that's what those tracks really help out. All right.
We look like we're right on the center of gravity there.
Here we go.
Give it a run. Now, like Brian said, once he gets it up in the air, we're going to be able to have the ability to tilt it back and forth. I mean, maybe I want to put a muffler or exhaust system on, I tilt it forward. I want to do an oil change right in the garage, tilt it the other way. They also supply this locking pin right here. Now, this locking pin on the other side, once you get it up in the air, you can lock it, keeps it safe, keeps it from coming down, which you wouldn't do anyway. You got a stout gearbox right there. You can hear it cranking up, lifting this. Now, this is a pretty heavy vehicle. I mean, it's front-wheel drive. It's doing a good job.
Yeah, small SUV, and really with a 6,600-pound rating, there's a lot of stuff you can pick up with this guy. And on the other side of the lift, there is a locking pin. So when you get it to the height you want, there's multiple detents. You can drop that pin in there, so you're 100% secured.
Yeah, and just every once in a while, just take a glance under there. It's a one-man operation. The drill's running. It's going up in the air. Just make sure, like I said, we're on the pinch welds here. It's going up, no problem. You can see it gets a stop sign right here. Once you get to the stop sign, you want to stop.
Yeah, the convenience of this thing is pretty amazing. Like you said before, you can slide it in the back of a pickup truck. You want to take it to the racetrack, perfect way to do that as well. You want to bring it with you anywhere you're going, really. You have a lift on the go.
Yep.
And this is a product that really is nicely constructed, steel construction. The welding on it's really nice, very strong, and like everything Danmar does, it's top quality.
Now, you could have moved it back a little bit. It may have lifted it up, but watch this. This is the beauty of it. I mean, probably one hand, you can tilt this joker up anywhere you want. You want it to go forward. You want it to go back. Here you go. I could go do an exhaust system.
Yeah, it's a great change. Yeah.
Voila. Go do your oil change. Now, you want to use your jack stand either way. They actually have another tool that's just as good, if not better.
Yeah, they have one called the Max Kick. We're going to show you that one next, and it's for if you don't need to get the whole vehicle up, but just one side.
Well, we lifted the whole vehicle with the Max Tilt. Now we're looking at the Max Kick. Brian, I love this product. We're going to get one side, and it's going to be easy.
Yeah, designed just to kick one side of the vehicle off the ground. For demonstration purposes, we have it kind of extended already, but this does lie totally flat, and it'll slide under vehicles that are about 5 inches of ground clearance. So it'll get underneath the low stuff. To me, if you're a drag racer, an autocrosser, or somebody who kind of weekend warriors their car and swaps tires frequently, this is a great piece. You could throw it right in your trunk, lug it to the racetrack, fire your car up in the air, change your back tires, and be in business, or your fronts if you're an autocrosser as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's lightweight. Think about safety, safari, all that stuff out there. I mean, you want to put it in the back of your trunk, no problem. Like you said, it goes all the way flat down. Same stout construction, same reduction gearbox. I'm in the pinch weld. Just look under there, make sure your vehicle's safe. We're in the pinch weld. Matter of just spinning a drill.
It is capable of lifting 3 tons, 6,000 pound rating on this guy, so it'll pick up a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah, and you gotta love it. The gear reduction, the box is winding it up. Now think about it, I can get under one side, I can do a fuel filter on this side, I can do a tire rotation, switch the other side, do the other tire rotation. I mean, the money saved alone. Heck, we're off the ground, we're floating, man. This is beautiful.
Yeah, and as you go up, when you find your prescribed height, there are wheel chocks provided to make sure that there's going to be no rolling or movement. Yep. Just another
lock it in.
Additional safety piece here by Danmar. There you have it. Max tilt, max kick. They have all the options you need to get your vehicle off the ground. We'll be back getting ourselves off the ground here with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stud Clean, the only all-in-one hub and stud cleaning tool on the market. No Limit, building quality hot rod and street rod parts for over 25 years. ShiftWorks, shifter solutions since 1991. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, we're back underneath our F-250, and if you remember from a previous episode, the last time you saw this truck, we swapped on a Mag High-Tech front differential cover on the Dana 60 axle under the truck. We've moved backwards a little bit aft underneath the truck, and now we're going to talk about the transmission and what a Mag High-Tech transmission pan can do for you. John's already gone ahead and got things started, and I am going to provide you with the filter that Mag High-Tech provided us.
Yeah, and it was pretty easy. I mean, you're doing a transmission service, couple tips, work your way from the bolts. I took them out here at the rear of the transmission, tipped the transmission down, took a bath, you know, a minimal bath, not a shirt-changing bath, but no matter what, you're going to get a little transmission fluid on you. Then we went ahead and unbolted the filter because they provided the filter in this kit, which is really nice. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the O-ring, because the O-ring is an important piece of this puzzle, because if you pull the old filter out and the O-ring stuck up in there, make sure you go retrieve it, because you're going to get 2 O-rings in there. You're going to start sucking some air and you're going to do damage to the transmission. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this one, get it started. I'll pop it up in here. Brian, you got an awesome pan there.
Yeah, so we have our Mag High-Tech pan, we have our stock pan off of the Torque Shift 6-speed that's in this F-250. And there's one thing you notice immediately, depth and volume. So the Mag High-Tech pan, significantly more depth here, 5.5 quarts of additional transmission fluid capacity in the Mag High-Tech pan. There's a magnetic drain plug here, and what's interesting is Ford provides a magnet in their transmission pan as well. Now, this was a bunch of crud that I wanted to kind of illustrate how good that magnet works, a bunch of metallic crud that came out of the fluid on that deal. Here's the downside of the Ford pan. There's no way to get into this thing and change the fluid without pulling the whole pan off. The Mag High-Tech pan, when you want to make a transmission fluid change, you can take the drain plug out, which is magnetic, and you can clean that debris off. This is going to stay in there for the life of the truck. Another thing to think about and recognize here is strength. When we look at these two pans, we can see a very kind of thin stamped steel flange here and a very thick cast aluminum flange here. A356 T6 aluminum used by the Mag High-Tech guys. The big thing here with these pans is that that additional flange provides incredible strength, and that strength, according to the guys at Mag High-Tech, makes high-performance transmission builders giddy. It takes this case and really makes it stronger. Remember, a diesel truck like this is making 600 plus foot-pounds from the factory. The guy hot rods the truck, 1,000 plus foot-pounds going through the transmission. You need all the rigidity you can get. Finally, lastly but not leastly, are all these beautiful cooling fins that are machined right into the trans pan itself. This is what's going to help draw the heat out. They pass through to the underside of the pan, they transfer the heat out. The air rushing under the bottom of the truck helps to remove the heat as well. Really, really nice piece. And again, these guys have been in business for a very long time, since 1984, and their stuff has been on thousands and thousands of trucks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I can use a little help here. Whoa, this is a beefy unit, man. That other one's just a little piece of tin. So I got the filter up in there. I'm going to get this started. I'll give you a bolt. We'll get a couple of these started. But, you know, the whole concept of an automatic transmission, and you're producing heat. I mean, that's what a torque converter does. It produces torque. And when it produces torque, it actually beats the fluid in different directions, and the fluid in the different directions is what causes the heat. So this pan's going to be really phenomenal when it comes to actually removing the heat. So,
well, one of the other things that's great about Mag High Tech is that if you buy directly from the manufacturer, in almost every case they provide the filter with the new pan. There are some exceptions to that rule where specialty applications where you may need to buy a filter through them, but they'll sell it to you at a reduced price. The bottom line is you're getting all the parts and pieces you need to keep your transmission happy for a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's a couple bolts if you want to work on the backside. I really like the drain pan. I mean, what you took out of there, that little clutch material and stuff, I mean, the truck's fairly new. Imagine if you could just go in there and change the transmission fluid regularly instead of having to drop this whole pan and take a bath every time. What a huge concept. I mean, this makes a lot of help.
Yeah, well, this truck, too, is going to be used for hauling heavy loads. This guy's going to do some, like, hot shot style work with it. So that's another reason to have the additional capacity in the transmission pan.
Yeah, I mean, the transmission, once again, you're whipping that fluid up. It's going in the clutch packs. I mean, aeration's not a good thing. So if we got some extra fluid storage down here, you got better line pressure, you got a better transmission, it's just going to last a lot longer. That's the cool part.
So these, the hardware here, zinc plated bolts, so you don't have any issues with dissimilar metals. Obviously the transmission case itself is aluminum, so when you go in here with these zinc plated bolts, you're not going to run into any galling issues or anything like that.
The guys' quality control are phenomenal too as well. I mean, they're just doing the quality control, the testing, serial number on every single case. It's phenomenal. I mean, yeah. I'll get this thing torqued to specifications, but you guys stick around. There's plenty more Motorhead Garage right after this break.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Vehicles like this Jeep JL are among the most popular in America because they connect the drivers and occupants with the world around them in ways that really nothing else can. You get the roof off the thing, you get the freedom panels out, the doors off. It's an experience unlike any other. But the big thing is you got to put in a little work to do it. And it's a lot of work unless you have the right idea on how to get that top off. And these guys do. This is Carter from Lang Originals. And Carter, you guys have a system that was developed many years ago and has been refined, and you need to tell me the story.
That's right. Well, this is our 30th year, and this idea came when Mom and Dad tried to take the top off of our 89 YJ. The top was dropped, and there was blame put. We're not sure who did it for sure, but the top was dropped. And so from that, we developed, came up with an idea for a product that removed the top and made it easy for one person to do that. And the system consists of a really nicely built steel frame here and a power unit. And talk to me a little bit about that power unit. Well, the power unit is specially designed. It's a much slower motor, and it has double spools so that it lifts in 2 areas instead of just one. So that's going to help a lot with balance and all that other balancing stuff, right? And safety. Yeah. Perfect. Now, it's not just for Jeeps either. We'll talk about that, but you offer the hoisted top system for vehicles like Broncos and Blazers and FJ40s. International Scouts, and then a truck shell as well. Perfect. Yeah. So we have it on the table. I want to see it in action. The Jeep's rigged up and ready to go. So we've moved to the back of our very subtly colored green Jeep here, Carter, and it all kind of starts here with hoisted top. So what's going on? Well, this is our patented rear hook, and the nice thing about it is when you're in your garage, no one ever has quite enough room. So the nice thing about this is that you can close your window right over the hook, and then you have that much more room to be able to lift your top. As we move forward and kind of look at what really is going on top of the roof here, we have a structure, we have some foam, so I guess walk me through that. Yeah, it's foam covered so that there's no scratches or any damage to your top when you lower it. And then you have the metal frame, which snaps together with the thumb, the thumb snaps, so you don't have to get a whole lot of tools. And then rubber coated hooks go up underneath of the doors. And then once you have that down and ready to go, you can take your Freedom Top pieces, put it on top, and then you're pretty much ready to lift. That's fantastic. And before we actually fire this baby up and down, some tips. You've been at this and your family's been at it for 30 years. What are some tips for people that are considering a hoisted top? Well, I mean, one thing is that you can back your Jeep in and then lift the top off and then park right underneath the front of it. So the nice thing is you can leave it up in the air. I hear my wife almost every morning putting the top on or taking it off when she doesn't want Jeep hair that day, so. It's easy to do, and it only takes a couple of minutes to take it on and put it off. make sure you remove your hardware before you take your top off. I guess that's the big tip, you know.
Absolutely, and the fact that the system is designed as a storage system, so it's not something that is being under any undue strain to have the top hanging from it.
Exactly, yeah, you can leave it hanging up, and if you are a seasonal person where you leave it up all season long, or you take it on and off on a weekly basis, you can do both of those just as easy.
Perfect, because I am from Lilliput and can't reach. Why don't you sling our other Freedom Top piece on there and give an indication of kind of how that all works.
Right, okay, so that goes right on there like that and slips on. There's a strap that goes over the top, and then you're ready to lift.
Well, perfect. Well, I have the controls in my hand here, so I'm going to show you just how easy this is. So we lift up here, and again, we can go as high or as low as we want. I'm sure some folks just want to get it barely off the back and clear the spare
you only
tire.
have to be up just a couple of inches to be able to drive out, and then you're done and ready to go.
Perfect, and lowering it is just as easy as moving your thumb.
Same deal.
Setting it back into place, and again, putting your hardware on, you're sealed in for any sort of inclement weather or wherever you're going to take your Jeep out to do. So Carter, where do we find you on the web?
We're at langoriginals.com, and there you can we have installation videos. We also have our hard instructions where you can look up and make sure that this is going to fit in your garage. And we have distributors all over the country. There's someone probably close to anyone that they can pick it up in their local area.
So there you have it, Hoist the Top. Not just for Jeeps, they have options for Broncos, for Blazers, for International Scouts, FJ40s, and even truck caps. If you got a pickup truck with a cap on the back, they can handle you too. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Now included with each set of Cook's headers. Go to stage8.com. RevMax Converters, designed, engineered, and manufactured in the USA. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices every day on auto parts and accessories. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now, rust, it's always a problem. It's even more of a problem when it's on your wheel studs here. And then we get what's called stack tolerances, man. It could be on the hub, it could be on the hub bearing, the rotor, the back of the tire. This thing causes big problems. Well, no more. I'm here with Charlie from Stud Clean. Charlie, you got a product that's going to take care of all those surfaces, man. Tell me about the product. How'd you come up with that?
Good morning, John. What we've got, the product itself was developed when I went in to get my tires changed at an automotive dealership, obviously, and then found the mechanic was actually using 3 different tools to clean the mating surface areas of the rim, the hub, and also the rotor itself that you have on the ground here. And I went up to him and I asked him, I said, if I could develop something all in one piece for you to use, would you try it? And he said yes. So I went back to my office and I talked to my partners, Chris Spinelli, Alex, Sasha, and myself, and we came up with this design.
Tell me about the design.
Sure. Starting at the tip, this is a high-dense surface conditioning disc. There's no other disc like this out in the world right now other than what we're using that. We have a patent pending on it. Inside, if you'll see, there's thousands of little stainless steel tines that we use to clean the actual threads of the studs. And then moving on from that, this is a very high impact plastic, so it's going to hold up to the durability of approximately 200 tire changes. Absolutely. Where our competitors are usually constantly changing out discs and things like that. This is an all-in-one throwaway tool where you don't have to do anything, no moving parts. It just
Well, hook it up. Let's give it a go. Let's try the studs now. Charlie, in the old days, I mean, I had a brush or even a little cup brush, and I had to go over here and scrub every one of these and try to get this clean. You know, torque specifications as well. Let's see how this thing works. So
sure.
Explain it, walk us through the process, and go ahead and clean these studs up.
And just for everybody out there, the safety of this whole thing, make sure you're wearing gloves and make sure you're wearing safety glasses at the time. So the way it works, you just put it right on the stud.
Wow.
Cleans right just like that.
Just like that.
And then you do the center piece.
And Charlie, that's absolutely huge because we're talking about, you know, torque specifications, magnesium, all different types of rims and stuff, and they come loose, you got problems, or you got warpage in the rim. What about the rim itself? Now, I know this will clean that surface. That's great. My studs are clean. I got good torque specifications. I got rust on the rim as well.
So exactly just what you said. We're mating surfaces so that we have smooth operation of the tire and balancing of the whole operation. So this will also clean the back of the rim the mating surface, as you can see where it's worn and it's rusted.
Right. Nice. Wow, I would have been scrubbing with that for hours, or a little
Right.
cookie or die grinder. and
One
stuff.
thing I do want to preface too is that this material will not deform the original surface of the rotor or the rim or the disc itself. All it's doing is removing contaminants and rust.
Yeah, and there's little tines in there that is actually getting the actual lug nut here in the surface here of the stud,
Sure.
and that at the same time. Charlie, there's another big problem out there, and that's lateral run out, man. That's when the brakes, you get some pedal pulsation. I know everybody has problems with it. It really exists from stack tolerances from the rotor rust surface to the hub surface, so we can take care of that as well.
Sure.
So we got the rotor right here, so what I can do is just take this and, wow, look at that. Cut that rust right off, and then this is the surface, Charlie, that actually mounts to the hub itself. So
Exactly.
we can go in here as well. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, we didn't even eat nothing off of that. How long is this thing gonna last me?
It'll last approximately 200 tire changes, so that's probably close to 10 times anything out there right now. And the ROI to the dealer out there or the guy in the backyard using it's approximately 24 cents a car to use it.
Wow, it's inexpensive, it works great. What's your website? Where can we find you?
Sure, the website is www.studclean.com.
Well, Charlie, it's an awesome product. I'm going to get one for myself. Well, folks, we're out of time for today, but join us next week. There'll be more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting. See you then.